Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2014 NFL Draft Special. We're going inside the war room with the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, and we're going to take a look at their team needs to see what players could be possible selections to help fill those needs. But first, let's start off by taking a look at the upcoming picks the Seahawks have in this year's draft.
The Seahawks are fresh off a Super Bowl title and are looking to make a return trip in 2014. They have 7 picks in this year's draft, 2 in the 5th round. Now, where they can get better is at tight end. They have to find a viable and consistent option for Russell Wilson. And I also look at the right tackle spot as well as another place that they could bring in some help. And depth at both free safety and wide receiver will probably get a good look-see in this year's draft. Now, here are some quick notes you want to keep in mind when watching this video. Number one, these picks are based off my own rankings of these prospects using my own prospect rankings and my own big board. And this is not indicative of where I think these guys will actually go in May's draft. This is also the Seahawks portion of my total 7-round mock draft. And to view my big board, mock drafts for other teams, prospect rankings, visit our website at footballgameplan.com/draft. At pick 32, Austin Seferian-Jenkins out of Washington was still on the board, so it was a no-brainer to pick up, in my opinion, the #1 tight end prospect in this year's draft class, who's the only tight end in the class that actually excels on both ends of offense. Big fan of Ja'Wuan James out of Tennessee. He's not only an excellent run blocker, but is an above-average pass protector on the right side. That'll give Seattle 2 solid bookends up front. In the 4th round, I have the Seahawks adding depth on the defensive line with Louisiana Tech's Ike Enemkpale, who's a tenacious pass rusher that'll fit in perfectly on the perimeter in that Seahawks defense. I like Sean Lewis a lot. He's a defensive player that always has the ball in his hands. He's one of the top coverage linebackers in this year's draft class, giving Seattle yet another versatile talent at the 2nd level of their defense. Devin Street is a very good wide receiver that has solid hands and great acceleration and burst after the catch. He was plagued by inconsistency at the quarterback position while at Pitt, but that won't be the case out in the Pacific Northwest, as he'll be playing with Russell Wilson, and he'll end up being a better pro than he was a collegiate. Small college sleeper here in Elijah Lee out of Charleston Southern. He played both corner and safety for the Bucs throughout the course of his career. His range and instincts makes him an ideal safety in the National Football League and will be a very good backup behind Earl Thomas. Rounding out the Seahawks draft in the 7th round with the selection of George Yuko out of USC. And Yuko is an early entry in the draft, but his versatility up front makes his upside worthy of a selection, especially on a defense like Seattle that thrives on versatility. Recapping my Seahawks draft, the main goal was to get better on the right side of that offense with the tight end position and the right tackle position, and both were accomplished with the first 2 picks in Austin Seferian-Jenkins and Ja'Wuan James out of Tennessee. And I also wanted to build depth throughout the roster with picks 4 through 7. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Seahawks fan forums for always showing football game plan support.